What is up, you guys? It's Ashling. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a first impression video and I'm going to be trying out the new Beautiful Skin foundation from Tilbury. I've been dying to try this for so long. I've had it, I'd say, about 2 weeks now, and I'm only just getting an opportunity to film it. Noah decided that he wanted to have a little tiny sleep on this morning, so I got up really early and I'm gonna try and get this on my face for you guys. Obviously you can see that my body is a little bit more tan than my face today, so I'm hoping that the foundation will match. I put self tanner on and I didn't realize how dark it was going to develop, and I never put it onto my face because I just don't do that. I don't like self tanner on my face. So first of all, it is €40, which is the same as the Flawless Finish, and you get 30 mils in it, or 1 fluid ounce, so again standard. There are 30 shades. This is described as a buildable medium coverage. It says that it's a hydrating foundation for a beautiful, healthy looking glow, and obviously if you're looking for your perfect shade, on the Charlotte Tilbury website they have like find your perfect shade. I just got the number 7 neutral because that is the shade I am in the other foundation, so I'm hoping that it matches me. This said it's fueled with hydrating hyaluronic acid and a brightening blend of rose derived ingredients. This formula is not only instantly beautifying but improves the look of skin over time. Vegan and cruelty free formula. It plumps, smooths and encourages radiance while adding just enough pigment, even out the look of imperfections. Plus it comes in a recyclable tube. There is a lot to kind of unpack with this foundation. It's supposed to be long lasting, hydrating, and then your skin only better is what I'm gathering from this. So let's see what the packaging looks like. Ooh, it comes in this gorgeous squeezy tube, kind of the same as the It Cosmetics CC cream, and it has that rose gold lid. I love the fact it has a pump on it. I think I'm just going to add on the Magic Serum and the Magic Cream Light. I'm just going to apply this first. I'm going to apply a primer to one side of my face and then leave the other side without one. I'm just going to apply some of this Magic Cream as well. For primer today, I think I'm just going to use the Primed and Poreless from Too Faced Cosmetics. I'm just going to apply it to the right side of my face just to see if this performs any different with the primer than it does without. I'm going to apply it with a brush on one side and then my beauty blender on the other side just to see which one it performs with. Sorry, my hair is like a mess today. I don't know what is going on with it. So initially, right off the bat, it is a little bit of a runnier consistency than the Flawless Finish. Very similar to the Maybelline Dream Urban foundation and similar to my It Cosmetics CC cream. It's just a little bit runny, whereas the Flawless Finish is like, will not budge, will not move. So first off, the shade matches me really well. I know I have self tanner on, but if I don't have self tanner on, I have a natural tan, and this is the color that I would normally be, so I don't want to go any lighter. I have number 5 in the Flawless Finish, and I normally mix that with the number 7 just to get a lighter shade in the winter time, but I think that I can definitely get away with this. Like, it is pretty much a perfect shade. So this foundation to me straight off the bat is like a CC cream, that kind of texture and the way it's kind of runny and stuff. I'm getting a little bit of coverage from it, but not like a crazy amount. Like, I can still see my freckles and stuff, and I would think that this foundation would be something that you would conceal any blemishes initially. Then I would go in with this just to kind of even out my complexion, but I really like the look of this. So you can kind of see side by side, like this is just what my skin would normally look like, and this is just a little bit more of like an evened out complexion, and it's kind of unified my skin. It's made it just look like my skin, only better. I can tell you right off the bat, this is the type of foundation that I absolutely love, especially just for enhancing like your own skin and getting more of a like a skin-like look. So I'm just going to apply this with the sponge. I'm reckoning that I'm probably going to get more coverage with the brush, and I would be correct in saying that. Okay, so the brush definitely gives a lot more coverage. This is the brush, same amount of product. This is the sponge. You can see that it's a lot lighter of a coverage. And personally, for me, I prefer the way that it looks with the brush. I just feel like it's more even, whereas I feel like with the sponge it's kind of missed some areas and it hasn't unified my skin completely. Actually, just going to go back in with my brush and just even out this side of my face. I don't really feel like a sponge would be necessary. You could possibly apply it with your brush and then go in with your sponge. I also felt like the sponge ate a lot of the product. So if I initially went in with the brush, it would have taken 2 full pumps just to get the coverage that I want. If I use a sponge, I definitely think it would take about 3 pumps to get the coverage that I want. So a brush for me to save on product is the way forward. This looks so nice on my skin. Like, it just makes my skin look so evened out, and it has covered any imperfections while still looking like dewy and fresh. I really like this. I don't feel like this has oxidized on my skin or changed or gone darker. I do find that with the Flawless Finish, I find it dries down a little bit darker, but this definitely doesn't. I just really like the consistency of it. I like the way it looks on my skin. I like how fresh this looks. I just thought you'd like to see it up close. You can see how like dewy and fresh it looks on my skin. It's really hydrating looking. It just looks like, I said, my skin only better, which is exactly what this foundation is marketed towards. I feel like this foundation gives you just a nice amount of coverage, but it's not too intense. So that's why I say cover up like any blemishes or spots, maybe with some concealer first before going in with this. But I really like the look of this on my skin, and it feels very lightweight. First impressions, I love this foundation. So you guys know the drill. I'm going to wear it for 12 hours or as close to 12 hours as I possibly can. It's just gone at 9:15 right now. I will pop in intervals throughout the day just so you can see the way it's wearing, but I love it right now. So I will check in with you guys in another little bit. My first update of the day. It is just gone 12:30. I'm wearing this foundation for 3 hours. I wouldn't expect any craziness after 3 hours, but I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about the way that all the products sat on top of the foundation and just how I found setting it. So I just did another makeup look on what I'm wearing right now. It's from Catrice. Other than the lip, I just changed that up. I set my face with the Poreless Perfecting Powder. I also used the Born This Way Multi-Sculpt Concealer, and I just set that with the RCMA powder, just using my normal kind of like setting powders just to see how I got on with this. I found that the concealer went on fine, like it went on really well over the foundation. It didn't add any extra like cakiness or anything like that to the foundation, not that I was expecting it. And then setting it, I thought that it set really well with this powder, but most foundations do set well with that powder. That's why I really like it. I didn't want to go crazy setting this foundation because I feel like that defeats the whole purpose of it looking like fresh and dewy. So I just apply this to my most problematic areas, which would be T-zone and chin. And I felt like it kept the dewiness of the foundation. Also, the blush that I used today is Warm Soul. And my lip combo is NYX Nude Truffle and Oat Milk lipstick from Urban Decay. And then on my eyes, I'm using the Catrice palette, which I show a tutorial on that. My mascara is again from Catrice. For my bronzer, I use the Bronze to Paradise Back to Bronze #3 from L'Oreal. I'm happy the way all the products are sitting on top of this foundation. I'm happy the way it's set, and I'm happy the way it appears on my skin. Like, it's so fresh and dewy looking and incredibly lightweight, but there's still a lot of hydration to it. I may not have actually mentioned this. I have oily skin, so I'm always looking for something that holds back my oils but also kind of looks hydrating on the skin at the same time. It's always a delicate balancing act between being too dewy and like showing off my oils and then being like fresh and radiant looking. I'm always looking for something more on like the radiant spectrum than something that makes me look greasy. So if you're watching this video with drier skin or maybe combo skin or something like that, then you know, take that into consideration, all my points on this foundation. But I do love the look of it. I think it looks really fresh and radiant, and it's luminous on my skin, and I think the shade is amazing. I really like how easy it blended out, and I really like the look of it on my skin, to be fair. I think it's very youthful looking and it's not sinking into any fine lines, and after 3 hours I wouldn't expect any crazy dramatic changes, but I'm really enjoying the way that it looks and just how lightweight it is. So I've nothing really more to say on it at this stage because, again, like, it's so early in the day. But you'd like to see what the foundation looks like up close as well. I just think it's really, really radiant. Like, it's so gorgeous on my skin, and like I said, everything is sitting on top of it quite nicely. There's no blotchiness or anything, and there's no seeping into fine lines, pores, or anything at this stage, and I just feel like everything has sat quite nicely on top of it, and it looks gorgeous on my skin. really like it so far. I think it'll establish how we're getting on with this foundation at my next check-in, because that's always kind of like the big telltale sign after about 6 or 7 hours in. So guys, I will talk to you soon. It is just gone 4:15. Well, it's actually 4:16. So this foundation's been on for just over 7 hours. I thought this was a perfect time to pop back and see what the foundation is looking like. Even at this stage of the day, I still think it's looking really, really well on my skin. I actually think it's almost nearly improved as the day has gone on, if that's even possible. I just think it looks so well for this time of the day. I still am seeing that glowy radiance to it. Okay, I do have a little bit of oiliness coming through, especially on my chin and kind of in this area and in between my brows, but everywhere else it's looking really decent. It still remained intact, it hasn't rubbed, and I've been wearing a mask. I had to go out and do a few errands. I had to pick up a birthday cake for my mum, and I had to pick up a bouquet of flowers. So I have been wearing a mask. I was in and out of the car, and I just think that the foundation still looks amazing for this time of the day. It still feels really fresh and lightweight on my skin. It's not heavy or getting really thick or anything like that. It hasn't changed in appearance, and I'm actually so surprised it hasn't really rubbed too much, considering, like I said, I was wearing a mask, and generally I would expect, especially rubbing over my nose and my chin area. But it looks really good. I am so impressed with this foundation. I definitely think this is going to be an everyday foundation for me. I love the fact that it looks so radiant on my skin. I have a little bit of a fear that it's not going to hold up in the summer months, so it will be kind of a test to it in the summer months to see how we get on with it. I 100% think that dry skinned people will absolutely adore this, because there is a little bit of hydration from it. So just to show you up close that it hasn't rubbed too much, please ignore if you can see any marks on my neck. I have a little bit of a breakout of eczema at the moment. You can kind of see over my nose where it's faded just a teeny bit, but not that much. And then I've been wearing my glasses. I always kind of have marks around my nose, but it hasn't rubbed that much, considering like I'm wearing my glasses all day. No sinking into any fine lines, and no kind of creasing around my mouth or anything. Looks good to me. So I'm going to do another check-in at the 12-hour mark, but I am loving how it looks. I really like everything about it, and I just love that it hasn't worn off. So we'll see you guys in another few hours. Just gone 8:45. I applied this foundation just after 9, so I'm going to call this the 12-hour check-in. I'm still really, really impressed with the way the foundation is looking. Obviously, it looks a little bit more oilier than it did earlier on. There's like a little bit more of my natural oils have come through. It has worn down ever so slightly just over my nose where my glasses were, which I'll show you up close, and just a little bit more wearing on my chin and just on my jawline. But definitely for 12 hours of wear, this is looking pretty decent. I mean, everything is still intact on my face, like my blush and stuff. I wouldn't honestly expect anything less from like a glowy foundation on my oily skin at this stage of the day. I'm just really impressed with it. It might look really oily to you viewing it, but for me, knowing my skin and the way it reacts with most foundations, I'm happy with this, and especially as it is a more radiant formula. I wouldn't be overly happy with it if it looked like this after like 3 or 4 hours, but after 12 hours of wear, yeah, great. I am noticing it just feeling a little bit more oily on my skin now. It's not as lightweight as it was earlier, just because my natural oils have started to kind of like break down the product. It does feel just a little bit heavier. I still stand by it being very like the It Cosmetics CC cream or the Dream Urban Cover. I feel like it's very on par with them. I will do a wear test of the Dream Urban Cover just so you guys can see what it looks like. But this performs really well on my skin. I absolutely love the appearance of it on my skin throughout the day. I felt like it held up pretty well when I was wearing a mask. I will be 1,000,000% repurchasing this and keeping it in my collection. I will obviously wear it for a bit longer before I make like my full judgment on it, but like first impressions, I really like it, and I nearly know straight off the bat how I feel about a foundation. Obviously, coming closer to the summer months, I will let you guys know what I think of it during the day, and you know, if it holds up with the sun and the heat and everything, because obviously it's colder now, so my face is not sweating as much as it would be, and my natural oils are not coming through as much as they normally would do in the summer months. I really think that dry skin people are gonna thoroughly enjoy this just because of the hydration it offers, and I think it offers a decent amount of coverage. I don't really have any cons to this foundation, probably the fact that it's €40, and if the Dream Urban cover is similar to it, like if it's a dupe, then you know, you may not need to purchase this. I don't know if it's the primer, however, I do feel like this side of my face has lasted just a little bit longer than the other side, emphasizing my pores just a little bit more on this side than it has done on that side. Looking at it up close, actually, it has completely worn off where my glasses were, so scratch that. But it doesn't look horrendous. I feel like a little touch up of this or blotting it with the powder would rectify any of the issues. You can see just the oiliness that is occurring and just where it has worn off. But all in all, it looks pretty decent. Nothing that a bit of powder can't rectify. I'm just going to blot with my poreless powder from Catrice, so you guys can see that it's just taken away any of the oiliness and it hasn't added any cakiness. And yeah, I think that's kind of given another lease of life to the foundation. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this first impression on the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. Let me know your thoughts on this, if you've tried it, and if you haven't, are you going to pick it up? I will talk about this foundation again in the future just so I can give you an update on how it's performing on my skin and if I'm still enjoying it. Thank you so much guys for watching today's video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. If you've any requests of other foundations that you want me to try, let me know, and I will talk to you in my next video. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.